Hi guys, it's Finn here from Kibble Sports. Today I'm just going to go over the range of DJ coolers. DJ have been producing duck calls since 1976 and they do a full range from wooden coolers, acrylic, double reed and single reed coolers for all applications. So we'll go over the Parry call first. It's a standard wooden duck call. These calls are really good at imitating both the hen and the male paradise duck. You can get the squeak of the hen and that low sort of mute noise of the drake with one call, which is quite good. I prefer to use this with the hen call because it's very loud and punches out a lot of noise on those windy days. Getting into the acrylic range, the acrylic duck callers are really clear, crisp note duck callers. They're very good for your hail calls and chuckles. They're generally a louder call. And quite hard to get that muffled call that you get out of wooden calls, but very versatile and easy to blow. This one here is the Alt 66 or the DJ 66. This is probably his most common caller. It's very sort of famous in the world of duck calling. It's a single reed call, obviously wooden, so it's very easy to blow and does the low notes of the calls really well. So really good for your single quacks, your feeding chuckles. You can do light hail calls and comeback calls with it, but don't blow too much air through the caller because it will squeak. It's really designed as a sort of, over in the States they use them for timber holes, but for New Zealand, small night dams and sort of quieter days. On the other side of that, we have the 128. This one here is another single reed call, but designed for more bigger water use. It's better on windier conditions because you can punch out more noise. Really good for your hail calls and your comeback call. You can still do a decent chuckle with it, but it's better to be using the 66 for that. And then we've got another acrylic call. This one here is a little bit shorter in the barrel, so requires a little bit less air. That makes it a little bit more noisy. So again, big water, windy days, really good for that. Really crisp, clear notes and pretty easy to blow. I'll just give you a quick rundown on how to use the callers. So when you're blowing a duck call, you don't want to blow through your cheeks, you want to blow through your diaphragm, and you're using the top of your tongue to cut off each note. You're not running out of breath each note. That'll give you really sharp, crisp notes when you cut it off with your tongue. So I'll use the back of the call to demonstrate. When you're doing a call, you want to be going. See how the ear is blocking and starting really quickly? That's all to do with the tongue. So when you're using the call, it should sound something like this. So there's your basic comeback call or hail call. That's the one to get the duck's attention. You can also do your chuckles. And your single quacks. Again, it's all in that tongue. You want to stop the ear and start it really quickly. That's how you get those short, sharp notes. The acrylic calls are definitely really clear and you can really hear those notes. The wooden calls are a bit more muffled and suit nighttime shooting better. You can still do most of your call range, but it just sounds a little bit muffled. So that there is the Alt 66 or the DJ 66. Quite a quiet call compared to the acrylic one here or the 128. The 128 is a louder call. This one here has got a bigger bore in it, so it requires a bit more air to blow than your acrylic or your 66, but still very good to use on those windy days. So we've got the number 22 or the Paradise duck call here. This one here is really good for both sort of ranges of the male drake call or the female hen call, so I'll run you through that. The drake call, you just blow little amounts of air through the call. And then you can pair it in with the hen call as well. And So what you're doing there is imitating a mob of parries. Obviously you'll hear both of those calls when they're trying to attract each other's attention. So what I like to do is mix in the calls. If you're trying to call parries in from a really far away, do more of the hen call, and once they're coming over, incorporate that drake. So at the end there, using both those ranges of calls, that low note and the high hen note, and at the start just really getting into it on the hen call to really get the duck's attention. So we've got a broken call here. You've got your soundboard and your barrel of the call. You've got a reed there and a little bit of cork to keep the reed in place. Very important when you're pulling the calls apart to place the reed on the soundboard correctly. Reeds will generally flex one way. You want that way to be flexing up off the soundboard, like so. If it's around the other way, it can make the call sound really squeaky and not very good at all. So it's good to have that reed flexing the right way. You put your cork in. If your call is sticking a lot and you're getting a lot of moisture in there, you can actually put a small amount of Vaseline over top of the reed. And I mean a very thin layer of it to stop it sticking against the soundboard. Then it all just goes back together like that there.